All right, welcome back to just another solar podcast with Luke Beattie. That's me, Karl Jensen,
That's
live
me.
from All Energy. G'day, mate.
We even turned on some sun for you, Luke. The sun's out for the first time.
It's been beautiful. Always love the weather report at the start of the podcast, and industry legend Nigel Morris.
Hello!
How's the show been, guys?
Look, really busy as far as I can tell, Luke. I've barely been able to do anything other than our stand and the AC Solar Warehouse stand, so I haven't got to see as much as I might have liked, but we're going to do a walk around, so I'm excited.
We're going to do a walk around. Now, there's been some really good feedback. It seems that everyone's sort of a little bit buoyed and the sentiment's improved. I just have to say, we've flown from all over the country, but the most interesting one I saw was Jake Warner. I was having a chat to Jake from Penrith Solar Centre. Jake flew in from Penrith in his helicopter.
No way.
Dead set.
Really?
And, yeah, I was having a beer with him the other night, and I'm like, how long did it take? It only takes 3.5 hours, including a fuel stop.
Is that right?
I was a bit astounded by that.
Jake, just showing us how it's done again, eh? Wow, that's wild.
You know, some people buy a Rolex, some people buy all these fancy things, and I think we've been trumped.
Yeah, we've all been trumped.
He's probably cruising at about 100 knots, which is about 200 k's an hour, so I think 3.5 hours might be a little bit ambitious with a fuel stop, but hey.
Carl, we've all been in sales. A bit of embellishment doesn't hurt.
Rounding. Just rounding.
Yeah.
All right, should we start walking around now and see who we can talk to?
Well, before we walk up, we should mention this beautiful stand behind us, because we're actually starting our tour from the iStore stand, where we just did a bit of a launch. We had the video cameras ready to roll. We had a bottle of champagne ready to roll. And Jack Long, a big shout out to Jack Long, who is in charge of the champagne bottle. Scotty was just launching doing his speech and making the announcement about the integration that's going so well. And let's just say Jack popped his cork a bit early and shot it straight into Scotty's face, which actually is going to make a great show reel. So we've got a really interesting launch video.
And I noticed he's got a big red welt on his cheek now.
He has a genuine big welt. Yeah, it was a serious hit.
On your loggy?
Yeah, good job, Longy.
My God.
All right. Let's go this way.
All right, while we're going that way, Nigel, I saw this week in the EV space, we had a terrible loss, and Energica is...
You're right. So for those of you who don't know, Energica was arguably one of the top premium electric motorcycle brands in the world. They got taken over by a big US mob called Ideanomics a few years ago. And Ideanomics have pretty much collapsed, and they took out Energica, very sadly. So, it's really tough. Globally, there's only about maybe 3,000 or 4,000 really high-end premium electric motorbikes sold every year, so it's a very niche market. And Energica are one of them, and they've gone, sadly. What have you found, Luke?
That's a shame. So before we do that, I wanted to make mention of Solar Quotes. So some of the big news was that Origin has bought out Solar Quotes.
Yep.
I know Finn Peacock's been around and chatting around the stands. That's massive news.
It's huge news. I had a phone call from Finn, actually, just before the announcement to let us know, which is very kind, and a bit of a chat with him about, whether it was good or bad. And a lot of installers have been talking about it as well, going, it's really bad. I actually don't think it's that bad. I think that, it's just going to help bring more leads. If Origin don't mess with it too much, which I don't think they will, then I think it'll be just fine. And, we'll just see how it goes.
Because that'd be the biggest lead gen source in the country, wouldn't they?
They are. They would be. It's true.
And speak of the devil, we've just come across Finn Peacock from Solar Quotes. How are you, Finn?
Good. I got my solar coats on.
That's good. So we're here on the Sigenergy stand. I think that they're really the belle of the ball. There's been a lot of buzz around them, and there's been a lot of conversation and stuff going on around Origin's acquisition of Solar Quotes.
Yes, there has been a lot of conversation about it.
So what does it look like from here for those customers who receive quotes from Solar Quotes and for the platform and the blogs and everything else? Is it going to continue as is? Do you expect any big changes?
So it's a really simple question. Nothing's going to change. We're not getting integrated into Origin. We're going to be operated at arm's length. Same team in the same office with the same installers. It's really that simple. They're not silly. They've made an investment and they're not going to break it because that would just be silly. So they're getting out of the solar and battery installation game. It wouldn't have worked if they weren't. But they want to increase their presence in the solar and battery market for obvious reasons. They want to, behind the meter is going to be so important. So it's as simple as that. So we were a perfect fit.
Yeah, those solar and battery installations have always been very difficult for large organisations to beat the man in the van. So obviously they've handed it back to the man in the van, which is great for the rest of the industry, I suppose.
They've realised that they weren't great at installing solar and batteries, and there's very few big organisations that do that. Solargain are pretty good, but they're one of the few, right? And they've decided that the best model is to use, the mostly small and medium local guys like our network, and I think that's great. I mean, it's an indication. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Excellent. What a great fit.
A great fit. Now, All Energy, what have you seen that's really knocked your socks off, or what's notable that you've seen walking around the last couple of days?
Oh, well, that's a good question, isn't it? I mean, there's so many white labels, white boxes. There's
a lot of boxes here, isn't there?
I really like, and this is quite shallow, but the Landis & Gyr Home AC EVSE. I think it's a beautiful design. They've got this really clever thing where you can make it tethered or untethered really easily. So, you get the 7-metre cable and then you put it on your wall, and then you realise you need a 10-metre one. You can swap it to an untethered, and it just looks really nice. I thought that was really good. Apart from that, it's much of a muchness, really. Yeah, a lot of batteries. Everyone's going stackable like these guys.
Awesome. All right, well, we'll make a move.
Thanks, Finn.
Thanks, Finn.
Thanks, Finn.
See you, man. Cheers, mate.
All right, so we're still on the Sigenergy stand, and we've got Will Hall. Now, this isn't my first time on the stand today, Will. I made quite an entrance before. I saw yourself and Glenn Morris on the stand and decided...
Defecated on the floor.
Well, tell it from your point of view.
Oh, mate, you got overexcited and your fluids dropped on the floor out of your coffee cup.
So it's a pristine white stand, and I spilt coffee across the stand. It could have been a bit of sabotage in there, mate.
No, mate, I know it was all accidental. I trust you.
And how's the show been for you?
Busy, yeah, really good response. New products getting launched with the C&I range. Obviously, lots of people still interested in the Sigenergy store, which is residential and C&I. So, yeah, very happy.
It seems you've been one of the busiest guys in the industry just getting the bloody things listed.
Yeah, I mean, listing's one of the components that's been a challenge, but it's Australia's a tough market to crack with any new products. There's a lot of hoops you've got to jump through, but yeah, look, we're not the biggest team. Obviously, we're quite new to the market. We've all worked really, really hard, and very proud of everybody.
Yep. Have you had a chance to walk around? Is there anything else that stood out to you?
I will be honest with you, no, I haven't. I haven't had time. Yeah. I'm hoping to do that at some point today.
Yeah. That's pretty typical when you're chained to the stand, though, mate.
It is, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Mate, hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Great to catch up, Will.
Thank you, mate. Good to see you.
Absolutely. Hey, there's Bobbie McKibbon.
Bobby, hi.
Bobby, hi. Hi.
Oh,
How
no,
are you?
what are you doing?
You guys had your AWISE event on Tuesday. I didn't get to make it, unfortunately. You're on our podcast.
You
by
were
the
a
way,
notable absence,
Oh,
Nigel.
bless you. I had to set the booth up. Tell us how it went.
It was fabulous. It was really good. We had some amazing speakers this year. So we had Christine Nixon, who was the first female police commissioner in Australia. So she talked about the challenges that she faced, being one of very, very few women in the police force back in the 70s and stuff like that. So she has been where we have been around looking at improving gender equity and gender numbers within our industry. So it was great to hear from a trailblazer, and I think we can all agree the impact that she's had there has had replications into so many other industries across Australia and, effectively the world. And so hopefully, we're hoping from that. And then we had an amazing panel that talked about the different things that we can do in our businesses to create safer places, and even coming down to job ads and the language that we use and all that sort of stuff. So that was fantastic, and the panellists were amazing, and people love hearing real stories. They love hearing what people are doing. And then we had Dean Mannix, and he was talking.
He's always good, right? Always good. As good as ever?
He was fabulous. He talked about mindset and all these wonderful things. So we finished the day on a real high, and I think we gave a lot of people things to consider as they were walking out the door and heading across here for the rest of the week.
Nice. And Bobbie, you've got a terrific little solar company. You're out there day to day doing the thing. You've walked about 15 kilometres today, I'm sure, up and down these halls. What's the one thing that's standing out for you so far?
Nigel, I shouldn't be saying this to you.
Oh, say it. Say it.
I've literally just done a quick little video grab for somebody as well. And my standout this show, which I knew it was leading into the show anyway, is actually the catch power control.
Stop it. Where's the brown paper bag, Nigel?
I'm sorry, vomit.
Unprompted, unsaid, just bumped into you along the way.
That's
and
why
there
I
you
said
go.
I shouldn't be saying this to you, of all people.
Do you say this to all the manufacturers?
They're what?
You say it to all the manufacturers?
Yeah, that's it, exactly. Don't follow me beyond this point because I've got another one teed up around the corner. No, honestly, I think the catch power control, in all honesty, is what we have been talking to our customers about, what the future would look like for a decade. So to have it finally here and now, and it giving the consumer the ability to have more control and get more out of their investment in solar and battery is phenomenal, to finally see that tide shifting where the power's in consumers' hands and no longer in the big corporates.
There you go, listeners, you heard it here first.
What time are we meeting for drinks, Nige? Because you owe me.
Whenever you like.
Well, great to see you, Bobbie. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the show.
Thank you. Have fun.
Thanks, Bobbie.
Very
Good on you.
See ya. Take care,
Thanks,
Bobbie.
You can get Rod.
There you go.
And we only got about 5 steps until we saw Rod Scott from Selectronic.
5 steps.
5 steps. Well, you're not going to get your steps in today if you just don't even walk to get somewhere.
How are you, Rod? How's the show been?
The show's been fantastic. Best show ever. We haven't had to worry about our stand. This is great.
So you've done the walk around this year.
The walk, the meet and greet and the press the flesh. And,
But you've have a presence on your distributors' stands?
Yep. So we got 4 distributors showing our stuff. We got our staff on the stands, which works out really well. Hey, I'm looking this way, am I?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm
It's fine. You look wherever you want.
No worries. I'll do the side. Which one's the best side? So no, it's working really well, and plus 2 partners as well. So 6 places.
And what stood out to you, like apart from Selectronic, of course, are there any other products or solutions that you found interesting?
There's this product. It's called the Mondo Ubi. Oh, that's ours as well. Oh, that's
Shameless plug.
no, shameless plug. That's right. So no, look. I mean, the size of the place is certainly showing growth, which is where the industry is going.
And the sentiment seems to have improved as well. I know a lot of this year people are saying how hard it's been in retail solar.
Sorry.
It's been a tough year for a lot of the retailers out there, but it just seems a few of them are getting their tails up. There's a bit more of a spring in the step.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Well, we've found. I mean, we've gone through a little bit of a slowdown as well. So, but we're seeing the other side and the light. So it's slowly moving up again, which is good. So yeah, we just got to keep pressing around, and this sort of show is a great way to sort of put some injection of vitamin D in the.
A bit of spring in your step.
Bit of spring, that's it.
And it's a bit like a school reunion. I mean, you've been doing these shows for many a year, and you've been seeing some of that
How many years?
a long time ago. Right. But you'd see a lot of faces that you've seen around the show since, back when it was very small. Yep. We're looking at a full hall here at the convention centre. So it must be good to see a few of the older faces and the pioneers and those sort of people around too.
I think it is good, and it's encouraging to us to sort of see customers from 30, 40 years ago still coming along and doing their thing. And I think it's really important that you get the mix of the old, because they got the experience and so on, but they can teach the new, but the new guys can also teach the old guys on the new ways of doing things. So the mix together and the cross-pollination of information and knowledge is really, really key for the best for this industry.
And it's good to have young people who can pull the night shift at networking events.
I'll leave that to the young people. Even though we only got 3 hours sleep the first night, but I'd rather leave that to the young people.
Very good, mate. Well, hope you enjoy the rest of the show, and thanks, Rod.
No, thanks for bumping into us. Appreciate it. All right, all the best.
Thanks, Rod.
Thank you.
No worries. It's all about a spontaneous.
Yeah, that's the go.
That's the way to go.
Yeah,
Yeah, free plugs.
That way?
What's in this? I haven't been to this corner.
I haven't either.
SunPower. James Grant.
James Grant. Where's
Right
James
there.
Grant?
James Grant.
Do you want to chat to Jimmy G?
Come on.
And like basically try and utilise that. Hello, gents. How are you? God, you're doing.
Do you want to do an
That's
intro?
right. That's right. Do you want to finish it? Have you sold him? Are you signing a deal?
No,
or
he was sold on me already.
So we're on the SunPower stand with James Grant.
How are you today, guys? Yeah, you keeping happy?
Very good, mate. Yeah, so how's the show been for you? What's your impressions?
It's been fantastic. It's been wonderful to be able to see the industry all together as per usual. Lots and lots of exciting conversations. It's really, really good to be able to tell everybody that SunPower / Maxeon is still standing.
So, James, we caught up for a beer last night and we met some incredible people. But you got some great news yourself. Go and share it with our viewers.
Oh, mate, I actually became a homeowner for the first time yesterday. I've actually bought a house finally.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, mate.
Yeah,
So, icing on the cake for the show.
It is indeed. Like, literally, it's been absolutely fantastic. And, yeah, here's to many more, guys.
Has it got a solar system?
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet. I think I know what I'll get, guys.
I think you might get some SunPower panels.
Well, maybe. Yeah. I think I might be able to, get a few cheap ones. Who knows?
So have you just been stuck on the stand? Have you had a chance to walk around and see what's out
I
there?
haven't had a chance to walk around yet. I have been approached by lots of people trying to do hybrid hydrogen systems, which I haven't seen that at scale, and people actually coming to talk about that at All Energy before, so I'm keen to learn more about that.
Well, interestingly, Trina launched their hydrogen solution as well. So
did they?
another module manufacturer, yeah. So that's
Commercial
one of their,
scale, I'm assuming.
commercial scale,
Yeah.
large scale hydrogen.
Wow.
So for a
Wow.
module manufacturer, they're branching out into that. I know they do trackers. So they do mounting systems for utility scale.
Yeah,
but it was
Trina
interesting
tracker.
to see that they're into the hydrogen space now.
Very interesting.
I think it will be, it's all coming together, It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Yeah.
Well, Jimmy G, enjoy the rest of the show. Always
Shall
great
do,
to see you, bro.
boys. It's always a pleasure, as always. Literally, keep doing what you're doing, loving the podcast as per usual. Tune in every time. All right.
Thanks, mate. Our pleasure.
See you, Jimmy.
Nice to see you.
Oh, I feel like I was amped.
That's the whole idea of it. That's the whole idea of it.
Look at the size of that thing. Hey. Oh, that's a big.
Oh. So we're standing here looking at a 635 watt mod. There you go. That's a good for scale. That's like what? Almost 3 meters. Almost 3 meters.
Half a football field.
My goodness. Yeah, I remember working for a PV manufacturer many years ago when we used to sell 500 watt Grid Connect kits, which was made up of about 7 or 8 solar modules and a SMA inverter. And we used to joke about making a half a kilowatt panel, and there it is, right there.
One of the early questions we posed on the podcast is, when are we going to see a 1 kilowatt panel? I don't think it's going to be that long.
I don't think it's going to be. I've seen 700 plus watts already, so I don't think it'll be long either. Certain applications, I think they make sense.
This is the most I've seen of the show.
Should we do a Tesla?
Home Solutions.
It's true, mate. And brand is a really interesting thing because, it can work for you, it can work against you, it can pull you through whether your product is the best in the market or not. The brand can actually pull you right through. It's also interesting how much damage you can do if you muck around with that brand. And, of course, we're standing here with one of the best-known brands in the space. And the stories around the world are that, the brand's taken a bit of a hit because of the boss and some of his positions on various things. So, it is really, really interesting how influential. It's really interesting how much positive impact you can have with a brand, but also how much damage you can do if you mess with that brand.
Interestingly, we did ask if someone would like to speak on behalf of Tesla, and the answer was that the only spokesperson at Tesla is the big man himself, Elon Musk, so no one was prepared to chat.
I can't see him anywhere.
He's not here today.
Ah, well.
But nonetheless, a nice stand.
always have a nice stand, don't they? It's clean and it's...
And heaps of people. There must be 25 Tesla people here on the stand.
Well, there's such a buzz around the Powerwall 3 still, and the
There
feedback
is.
from the retailers is that it's been an absolute goldmine for lead gen.
Yep. Like you say, people know it. They know it's popular. So let's see what happens. It's the other thing that I'm seeing a lot of at this show, guys, is these commercials. So just CNI, 100% CNI focused stands, big batteries, big PV, all CNI focused. Here's another brand never heard. Oh no, I have heard of them before. They've got a flash booth, don't they? They've spent the day. This is the other one that intrigued me, was CALB, world's largest battery manufacturer, if I'm not mistaken. They are a sort of OEM supplier to heaps and heaps and heaps of people, and quite staggering capacity. Oh, there you go, top 3 worldwide Tier 1 battery company, CALB.
Yeah, I got one in my garage. It's for my camping.
I'm good. How are you? Nice to see you, mate.
Yeah, going well.
So, we're actually doing a live episode of the podcast. Say good day to everyone, all the listeners.
G'day, everyone. How are you?
Dave, I've known you for a long, long time. You're from up in the Northern Rivers. How's it going up there? You guys took a massive hit during those terrible
it was a big
floods.
hit.
But you're down here. You're at the show.
Still going.
Good on you, mate. Good on you. What's the takeaway from the show for you?
So a little bit of AI. That's good to see that integrated. So don't mind that. So that's probably the biggest take on. That's some good stuff though.
Yeah. Have you been down here for the whole week? Have you been to
we got down
any
yesterday.
Yesterday?
And we're going to go back tomorrow, so we might go out for a little beer tonight.
A little beer tonight?
Yeah, why not?
Good on you, mate. All right. Hey, thanks for coming down, and thanks for sticking in up there up in the northern New South Wales.
Always good to see you. Thanks, guys. Catch you.
Good on you, Dave.
So we've just bumped into Chris from Middys. G'day, Chris O'Brien.
Hey, Luke. How you going?
Good, mate. How's the show been?
It's been busy. Been very good and very busy, yes.
You were just talking about something you want Nigel to campaign for.
Yep, 3-day all energy in Melbourne.
So you reckon the show's not long enough?
No, not now that we've expanded right down into where the waste guys were. I think you need your 2 days to do your stuff, and then that 3rd day to go and actually network with all the other guys and just get around the show properly. You can't get around the show properly in 2 days.
So I'm taking it from that, Chris. You're a man of great tenacity and incredible perseverance, because I do remember going back very, very early in the history of this show, maybe one of the others. At one stage, it was a 4-day show, if I recall correctly, or 5 days even. And by the end of it, we were all so shattered that we argued that it had to be much, much shorter. But
I'm not on a stand, so I don't have to be stuck to a stand.
So you just want more viewing time?
Yes, I get to mingle, yes.
There you go. So more time for the punters. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I reckon there's so many people here and there's so much opportunity, it might be time to go back.
Yep, go back, yeah. We were there at the start.
It's certainly a massive investment for everybody. I know what the stand space costs. And
that's
I don't
the
think
issue.
that there's any stand that here is less than $35,000. So the big stands are hundreds of thousands of dollars, plus all the people that stand on them. It's a very expensive event for the industry, but it's one that we all feel that we need to be here for.
Yeah.
So it's great for the industry as a whole.
So if we go from 2 to 3 days and all energy keeps the prices the same, that means a 30% reduction for all of us, right? I like that.
Perfect.
I like that.
So you would have been catching up with your partners, so all the Middys partners.
Yeah, Middys
but
partners, yeah.
You would have wandered around and seen some other solutions. Apart from your partners, did you see anything that jumps out at you?
The Sigenergy seems to be, everyone seems to be jumping on that. It looks a reasonable product. The product range is, obviously the batteries have taken off. It's funny, you walk past some of these battery people that, 3 or 4 years ago, you walk past and it was Franklin's name was there, and you go, oh yeah, look at that. And now Franklin's obviously exploded in the Australian market. So it's a hard one to judge who do you jump on. And if you jump in early, that's obviously the best bet. But
it's a bit like the Melbourne Cup, really.
Yes, just flip the coin and see where it lands. But we're happy with our core suppliers, and obviously you guys are going to be great for us as well. So we can't wait to get into that heat pump space. The electrification is the future of our business. I think we've got to not think about it as the solar industry. It's going to be the electrification industry.
Really well said.
Solar installers are the key to this industry for us.
No one's going to be out of a job anyway.
No. Unless you want to go back to your gas.
Yeah, well, you guys are already selling air conditioners, obviously selling heat pumps, selling solar inverters, selling batteries.
And
switchboards. Bigger
switchboards. We've got our energy trust platform where the electrification is that there's a house, it shows you gas hot water service, and it shows you if you swap your gas hot water out with a heat pump, the savings you make. So that software technology is really taking off, and you guys are a part of it, and it's great to be able to show the saving to the customer by getting actually off the gas. It's quite good.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know anyone that's got a gas well in their backyard.
No.
That's true.
Could be methane.
All right, Chris. Well, good to catch up, mate. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you, boys. Catch up. See you, boys.
Good on you, mate.
How convenient you were just here.
Thanks, mate.
All right, so we're wandering past the Clenergy stand, and we saw the older new generation, co-founder of Clenergy, if I'm correct, Mario Guzzi and Sean Guzzi, carrying the torch. How are you guys?
Yeah, really good.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
It's been a really good show this year. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So what's your feedback? Have you seen an improvement from last year? Any changes? What have you seen?
To be honest, I haven't had a lot of chance to get off the stand. It's been so busy here on the stands. But, I mean, yeah, the crowd looks good. I think the numbers are probably about where they were last year. We've got some pretty exciting new secrets coming out that have ended up changing the game a little bit in the market, I think. So that's been exciting. And
so are they still secret, or have you announced them? Are you going to tell us?
Watch this space. Go to your wholesalers in the next 6 weeks. And,
Ah.
find out.
I just wanted to note, yesterday we had a meeting with Clenergy, and they were serving beers on the stand, so it was very popular, and the beer glasses were all dirty. They didn't have any more. So Sean said, do you mind if we use coffee cups? And I said, that reminds me of COVID. Just make sure on the Zoom you're going to blow over it first and then have a sip.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, Mario, you've been around for quite a while in the industry. We've spoken to a couple of pioneers as we've walked around. Now, mate, would you have imagined that from when you were there in the early days of Clenergy that you'd be staring at this?
The short answer is no. When we started, we were 4 people in one room. In fact, we started in Daniel Hong, who's was the principal owner, on his kitchen table. So it was all new to us. But Daniel and I came out of the IT industry, and so we wanted to try and do something which was going to be beneficial. Daniel saw, he had a vision for renewable energy. It was just starting in those days, but we knew very, very little about it. So we spent probably the first 3 to 4 months just talking to people in the industry, trying to understand what it was all about.
So when was this? Which era were we talking?
2006, 2007. So it's a long, long time ago.
Well, it's before the massive ramp up in the industry.
Yeah. So we were there at the start, and we learned a hell of a lot. We took some of the learnings from our days in the IT industry about what the best way to understand what people want was to actually go and talk to them. So we did. We found very similar issues with people not being able to get the technical support that they needed when they needed it here. Very few companies in those days, in the racking industry at least, were holding any stock here. So if you wanted to do something, you had to pre-order it, sometimes you'd wait 3 months and so forth. In the IT industry, that was just unacceptable. So we started a local storage facility, bought stock out in anticipation of possibly selling it over the next 6 months. Our first order was on the water. It was 2 container loads. It was sold before it got here. So we had to ramp up production in China.
It's like the ad, we need a bigger boat.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So we just continued to learn from those early days, and as you can see today, since I've stepped out, the Clenergy's grown dramatically. So
Now, Sean and I had a similar entry into the industry, so throwing boxes in the warehouse, and obviously as your son, you've watched his journey, and we think a whole lot of you, Sean, and everyone loves you in the industry, and also what you've achieved. You're one of the great guys in the industry.
Love you too.
What's your take on it, Mario?
Oh no, I think you're spot on. He's a great guy. He's got a good heart. His ability to help people is great, except when I ask him to come and help me at home, do the garden, or a little bit of maintenance and that sort of stuff. I need to teach him on that. But other than that, he's great. Yeah.
I do see a tear in your eye there, Mario. So.
It's just disappointment.
Disappointment. Yeah.
Thanks, Pops.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
No, you're welcome.
You're not so bad yourself.
So, Sean, what would be the one takeaway you'd like to give to our listeners about where the industry's at and where it's heading from here? Sorry, I should have given that question to you before. I didn't even know who we'd be interviewing, man. We've just literally walked around and grabbed some people. But
Look, I think a lot of guys are feeling the pinch out there at the moment, and I think the key here is just to remember that this is all part and parcel of the solar coaster. We've all been through it before. We'll get through it again. For some businesses it might hurt, for others they'll thrive in this type of environment, but the main thing is that we just got to keep adapting and changing and focus on getting the panels on the roof. That's it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sean.
thanks, Mario.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, we could keep doing this all day because there's so many great people around, so many interesting stories and solutions, but we're going to wrap it up shortly, so I'll do a quick whip around last thoughts before we do, and we'll start with you, Karl.
I reckon that there's heaps of people here. It's probably a bigger show than last year. Ultimately, it's an excellent event for everybody in the industry to come. If you didn't make it this year, you should plan to come next year. And yeah, I guess we're going back to work.
We're going back to work. And Nigel, last thoughts?
Yeah, look, I think it's always interesting because, the new brands, it's really interesting to see new brands coming in. Some will survive and prosper and others won't. They'll just come and go. It's really interesting to watch the evolution of products and see the new stuff that's coming through, to see the products that were here that are gone. So, it's a big show though, man. I'm kind of with Chris, who we were talking to before. It feels like we almost need another day. I don't want another day though. I'm exhausted, and we've got a Solar Pioneers catch up tonight, which will be our wrap up event, and then I'll be pretty happy to pack the bag.
Yeah, it's been a short show, but I think it's been one of the most productive ones I've been at. Probably one of the most enjoyable in terms of meaningful conversations and prospects and business. And for those we caught up with, it's been excellent. Those who weren't here, absolutely, you should consider coming next year. And yeah, we're going to wrap up the episode, but as always, please share the episode, like our socials, and share it around to anyone who might get benefit, and hope to catch up with you soon.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks, Nigel.